Hey everyone, it's Karen with 𝗬𝗄𝗃𝗃 PaperCrafts, and in this video I'm going to be creating a scrapbook layout for a YouTube celebration hop for Ginger's Corner reaching 500 subscribers. And so a lot of you may already know Ginger. She is the person over in the 𝗬𝗶𝗸𝗲 Facebook group that coordinates the embellishment swaps. And so Ginger started her own YouTube channel and she's already reached 500 subscribers, which is super awesome. And she has a lot of videos already, a lot of which are embellishment type videos to show you how to create embellishments, also a little bit of organization and some scrapbooking as well. And so y'all should definitely go and check out Ginger's channel, and I'll put a link to her channel in the description below. So for Ginger's celebration, she wanted to do something a little special, and so she made a purchase from 3 different small businesses, one of which was my button shop, and she wanted to send out some inspiration to each one of the people that is participating in her YouTube hop, and to kind of help support some small businesses along the way with some other creative people that are also on YouTube. And so she sent me this packet of goodies. Now I did already take a peek because I kind of needed to know what was in there so I could plan out my layout, but I did want to spend some time showing you everything that Ginger sent us, because I wanted to make sure that I mentioned the different shops. And so this first item are these adorable owls. These are just super cute, and it also has some leaves, and those are beautiful. This comes from a shop called Some Assemblage Required, and it's owned by 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Okay, and so I'm going to give y'all a close-up of the little owls. Aren't those cute? Okay, so 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 also has a YouTube channel. She does scrapbooking, and I love watching her videos. She does some amazing layouts, and she does a lot of mixed media. So y'all definitely need to go check out 𝗵𝗃's YouTube channel and also her shop. Okay, and then the next item, it comes from the Flair for Embellishments. This is a shop that's owned by Terry Rice. Terry also has a YouTube channel, and these little arrows are super cute. I like that it has this glitter arrow point and then the little feathers, and those are just sweet. I just think that those are really pretty. Okay, so this is Terry's shop. Now I think that Terry sells Flair buttons as well as embellishments, and I had not actually watched Terry's channel until just recently. When Ginger sent the list of YouTube hop participants to me, I went ahead and checked out some of Terry's videos, and she does scrapbooking, and she does really cute scrapbooking layouts, so y'all definitely need to go check out Terry's channel and also her Flair for Embellishments shop. And one of the things that I thought was super cool about Terry's channel is that she scrapbooks and she talks at the same time. And I really have to admire that, because that's something I can't do. Y'all know I can't talk and scrap at the same time. That's a talent. Okay, so yeah, definitely go and check out Terry's channel and her shop, Flair for Embellishments. Now the third shop that Ginger is sent us was actually my shop, which is called the Yes Please Button Shop. And she sent me 4 of my own Flair buttons. And so these are really adorable. These are some of my favorites. I love this button, and of course the Today. And then this is like a pink Love This, and then also a film reel. And I don't know if I'll use all of these in my layout, because I'm kind of inspired by this nature theme that's going on with the owls and the leaves and these arrows. And I think that these 2 buttons here, the Love This and the Today, would look super cute with this, but I'm not really sure that those other ones would go. But still, I love all 4 of those. And then the other thing that Ginger sent us was some embellishments that she made herself. And so I'm going to go ahead and open this up and show y'all all of the little things that she sent. And these are really pretty. I love the colors that she selected. I think it's going to go really well with a nature themed layout. Okay, so we have a bunch of leaves. Those are really cool. Almost look like pine trees. And then we have a tree, and then another tree. And here is a 3rd tree, or a 4th tree. We got a whole bunch of trees, so those are cool. And then some leaves. And more leaves. Y'all definitely need to go and check out Ginger's channel if you want to learn more about making embellishments, because Ginger has a lot of videos in her channel about embellishments, and she's got some really creative ideas on how to create embellishments. And then there's also this 3x4 card which has all of these words on it, and I might try to see if I can work that in. Either side I think is cute, so I could actually use this on my layout as well. And then she also sent this title, which is grateful, and I think in her letter here she said she's very grateful to the YouTube community and the people over on Facebook in the 𝗬𝗶𝗸𝗲 group. And I think that's one of the really amazing things about the crafting community on Facebook and YouTube. It's such a supportive community, and everybody supports each other, and it's just really awesome and amazing, and I just love being a part of it. And thank you, Ginger, for including me in your celebration. I'm really happy to be helping you to celebrate your first milestone on YouTube, and I think there's going to be tons of milestones to come for you and your YouTube channel. Okay, so I almost forgot about telling you guys about the giveaway that Ginger's having on her YouTube channel for her celebration. And so she is giving away embellishments from all 3 of these online shops, and then she also is making some embellishments, and she has some other things she's including in her giveaway. So if you want to enter the giveaway, be sure and check out Ginger's video, and she'll have all the details about how you can enter her giveaway. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started by talking about the photos. So the photos that I'm going to use for this layout are these pictures of my dogs, and I took these pictures recently at the dog park. And so I have these pictures of my dog Bella. I also have a couple pictures of my dog 𝗬𝗶𝗍𝗂. I don't think I'll use all 6 of these pictures, but I just printed out all the ones I had so that I could just pick from these. And I just think these are really cute. And I don't really have a lot of pictures that I could scrapbook with a nature theme. And so I thought that the best thing that I could do would be to scrapbook pictures of my dogs outside, because I don't do a lot of camping or nature walking or anything like that. I'm not an outdoor girl. So I don't have a ton of pictures of the outdoors, but I thought that these pictures would be really cute, and my thought was that I could maybe create a title that ties in these little owls. And so I'm going to be looking on my Cricut and Cricut Access to see if I can find a title that has an owl quote, and use that on this layout to kind of tie these pictures together with my embellishments. Okay, so once I had the pictures selected and I have this inspiration, I was thinking, you know, what kind of paper or collection kit that I could work with that would go along with this inspiration that Ginger sent me. And what came to mind was this collection from Vicki Boutin called Fernwood. I just picked this up recently during the Black Friday sales last year in, I think it was in November. And I think it's just absolutely gorgeous, and I think it would work perfectly with these embellishments. And so that's what I'm going to be using. And I have a few different embellishments and also a bunch of paper. So I have 3 different packs of embellishments here from this collection, and it's just different ephemera. And then we also have this chipboard. And isn't this beautiful? I just love this collection. This is the most gorgeous collection ever. And then in addition to that, we also have the paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick out the paper here. And I think I'm just going to use this picture here as my picture to help me to select my paper. Okay, so this first paper has tags, and I could definitely see using 1 or more of the tags and also these border strips down here. I just love this collection. Isn't this adorable, these little sneakers? And then on the back of that paper are these spots. Okay, then we have this really gorgeous floral, and I love that, but I don't think it really suits a look and feel that I'm going for with this more woodsy vibe with the owls. And so we're probably not going to use that one. Okay, then I have this paper with these ferns, and I really love that a lot. That really goes well with the owls and with this picture. And then on the back of that is this blue grid paper. Okay, then we have this paper here. That's super cute. That would make an adorable background. Although I'm not really feeling this large floral over here. I could cover up a lot of that because I love this, all of this kind of mixed media in the background. And that might be a possibility for the background for this layout. I like the blue down here in this grid. And I could cover up the flowers and maybe make it a large cluster down here with the trees and stuff. I think that could possibly work. Okay, let's see what else we got. I'm going to put this one over here. Okay, we've got this one with the cameras, and then this one here with the sky. And that's really pretty, but I also don't think this really suits the look and feel that I'm going for. And then this is one of my most favorite papers from this collection. I think that's a really gorgeous paper, and I could see cutting out all of these little hexagons, and I actually purchased 3 of those papers. I loved it so much. And then on the back of that paper is this really pretty green stripe, and that's gorgeous as well. I like that one. It's very bright though. It might just be a little bit too much green because I do have a lot of green in my pictures. Okay, the next paper we have here is a stripe, and then on the back of that is this mixed media paper. And I love this mixed media background, but I really don't think it suits the look and feel because it has more pastel colors. Okay, here's a tone-on-tone red polka dots, and then this paper here with all of these circles. That's adorable. I love that paper. I'm almost wondering if I couldn't like cover up the bottom of this with something. I don't like either one of those. Okay, here is another paper that has kind of a mixed media with a darker blue, and then we have this cut apart. I like that clipboard. That's cute. Okay, here is another paper that has red. It's like a plaid pattern. And then this side has this green floral with the white flowers. Okay, we have a black stripe paper, and then on this side we have tickets. Okay, and then here is a vine paper. On this side is a blue. That's pretty. I kind of like those together. I'm just not really sure that I like the actual pattern because it's more sophisticated. I don't think it really suits the look and feel of my layout. Okay, then we have this really pretty floral, and then this mixed media kind of red-orange paper. We have a paper with words. This is really pretty. I could definitely see using this paper with all of this embellishments. And it really suits the picture, so I love that as a background. So we might have to use that paper as the background. Okay, and then the back of that is this paper with the words. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have some butterflies, and then this yellow paper. Okay, here is a paper with all of these little squares that have like a wood grain. And then the back of that paper is this green paper. Isn't that pretty? I could definitely see doing a photo mat with this green paper. Okay, and then we have this paper here, and on the back is this pretty floral. I don't know. So many papers to pick from. They're all so gorgeous. Okay, then we have this paper, which also has this beautiful green. But I think that I really love this, and I almost want to use it for this picture of my dog 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗧𝘂𝗧𝗏. This paper suits my dog 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝗧𝘂𝗏𝗏. I don't know why. It feels more like a layout for her. And so I really think that I might take this paper and use it as a background for these 2 pictures, but not for this video. That'll be for another video. Alright, and then on the back of that one is this blue paper. Okay, then we have this paper. It's kind of like a wreath, and that's really gorgeous. I definitely could see using this paper with these embellishments. Okay, so that's also a contender. So I have, so far I have, these are my favorites. I really like this paper here. I like this one, and I definitely like this green. Okay, then we have some cut aparts. And we have these leaves. I really love this paper with the leaves, and I could definitely see fussy cutting some of these out and including them if I wanted to make my clusters a little bit more full. I definitely could see cutting out some of those leaves for sure. Okay, and then the back of that paper is this background, which that really doesn't suit the look and feel of my layout either. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with these papers here, and I don't know at this point which one of these papers I'm going to use as a background, but I'm leaning towards this paper here just because it really suits the look and feel of the embellishments, I think, a little better than the paper here, although I love this paper with this blue and green. But I think what I'm going to do at this point is just to try to create my title. And once I figure out what my title is going to be and I cut it out with my Cricut, I'll come back and revisit which of one of these papers I'm going to use as the background. Okay, so y'all know I can't talk and scrap at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and start speeding this video up, and then I'll come back later and do a voiceover. So let's go ahead and get started. So this scrapbook process takes a few twists and turns along the way, and you might actually be quite surprised at how this actually turns out. But I want to start by talking about the title. So I wanted to find a title that would go along with the embellishments that Ginger sent us, and also would work with the pictures that I have selected. So I went over to Cricut Design Space and I did a search on the word owl, and I found a bunch of cute sayings, but I really like this one which says, "I'll always love you." I just thought that was really cute, and I just thought it was perfect for this layout. So I did have to edit the image a little bit in Cricut Design Space because the original image that I had selected had a little owl face on top of the O, and I really didn't want that on my layout. I wanted to use the little wood veneer owls that 𝗬𝗃 had made, because I just think those are super adorable. So I cut out the title using a tone-on-tone green pattern paper. It had really small motif design, and it almost read as a solid, so I thought that would be perfect to use as my title. And then for the offset layer, I decided to use black cardstock, and that was because the title that Ginger had included, which was the word grateful, was also cut from some black cardstock, and so I did want to incorporate black into my layout. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about my background. So I couldn't decide between the background that's on the left and the one on the right, and I kind of thought about doing a companion layout. I like to do that sometimes. It's not necessarily a double page spread. It's just two layouts that are similar that you could put in an album next to each other. And so that's what I was kind of thinking about here as I am looking through the different ephemera, just trying to pull in different pieces that I think might work with this layout. And I wanted to keep in mind that I was wanting to include all of these different embellishments that Ginger had given us. And so I'm pulling embellishments that I think would go, or I'm pulling ephemera pieces that I think would go with the other pieces that I already had decided to use. So the next thing that I want to work on are the pictures. I wanted to try to figure out what pictures I was going to include on this layout. And so I'm going to go ahead and use this Creative Memories personal trimmer to cut the pictures. This was one of my very first scrapbooking tools that I ever purchased. It was purchased back in the 1990s. And this is one of my favorite tools that I have in my craft room, and I use it pretty much every time I scrapbook. It's really awesome for cutting down your photos. Okay, so now that I have my photos cut down, I thought that it would be really cute just to use one photo on the right side and then the smaller photos on the left side. So I decided to print out another picture and make it a bigger size, so it's a 4x6. And I just think that that's super cute, having the one larger picture with the title on one side and then the 4 smaller pictures on the other side. And so this is where I decided to change my mind, and instead of making a companion layout, I'm going to turn this into a double page spread. So the next thing that I'm going to work on is to map my photos, and I decided to go ahead and map the photos using some black cardstock and also the same green tone-on-tone paper that I used for my title. I wanted to pull some of those papers over to the other side of the layout. And I'm using the 𝗬𝗵_Memory-Keeper's layering guides to map the photos. And I haven't been using these layering guides very much, and I finally figured out why I was having so much trouble with them, and that's because I needed a new blade. My blade was very dull, and so as I was trying to use these layering guides, I would keep having to just struggle with trying to get it to cut through the paper. And once I changed out the blade, they're working so much better now, and I'm just loving using these again. They really do help you to create perfect mats and layers behind your pictures. So each one of the layering guides has different measurements, and the one that I'm using here is the 1/16 inch layering guide. And I don't think I could have done that with a paper trimmer. It's really difficult to create a 1/16 inch layer behind anything, but you could do it with these layering guides. So I decided that instead of individually matting each one of these photos with this green paper, I'm going to go ahead and just stick these photos down and leave the same amount of spacing between the photos, and then turn this into one large mat. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my ATG tape and glue those 4 pictures down, making sure that they're all even, so that I can take this other layering guide that's a 1/4 inch guide, and I can create a 1/4 inch border all the way around these 4 pictures. And so I think that worked out really well. Now I would say that if you're going to do this with multiple pictures, that instead of relying on catching the edge of the photo with the guide, I would suggest visually looking at the lines on the guide and just following along with that instead, because sometimes if your pictures are slightly off, you might not be able to get a straight border if you just use the lip on the layering guides. Okay, so I want to create a cluster at the top of this group of pictures. And so I took the paper that was included with the embellishments that Ginger sent, and I trimmed it down and made it the same shape as this tag that was part of the vellum pieces that were included in the Vicki Boutin Fernwood ephemera. And then I'm also going to use one of the leaves from 𝗬𝗵𝗁𝗂𝗯𝗏 and also one of the little owls up there at the top. And I'm still thinking I'm going to use these 2 different backgrounds, but as I continue to work with this, I'm going to find that I really want it to be more cohesive and a true double page spread. Okay, so while I'm thinking about the background and what I'm going to do with that, I decided to go ahead and put my title together. So I'm just going to take some liquid glue, and I'm using the Barely Art liquid glue. It's my favorite glue. And I'm going to just apply some of that to the back of each one of these words and just stick that down onto the offset layer. And I love using offset layers to build my title because it just makes it so easy. You just can put the letters or the words right onto the offset layer, and then you have one large piece that you can move around your layout until you figure out where you want it to go. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and mat this other picture that's going to be on the right side. And I wanted to do something similar, but I'm not going to use the same pattern paper or that green paper because I already have that in the title. And so I'm going to mat it with some black cardstock, and then I'm going to use this blue tone-on-tone pattern paper to mat this photo. And I'm using the 1/4 inch layering guide to create the mat for this photo to match the mat that's on the right side of the layout. Okay, so I took a break, and this is the next day. I decided to try to see if I could figure out my background. So I'm looking through this Vicki Boutin paper pad. This is from Color Kaleidoscope. It's a different collection, but a lot of the colors are very similar to the Vicki Boutin Fernwood collection. And I found these two papers that I thought would work perfectly for this layout. So I decided to use this teal paper as part of the background, and then this other paper that has the tone-on-tone green leaves as one of the mats behind my large picture. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this down using this Creative Memories 12-inch paper trimmer. And I love that paper trimmer. It is so awesome. And here's where I'm trying to figure out exactly how big I want each one of these pieces to be. And I wanted to make them different sizes, but I kind of chickened out. And I ended up just cutting it in half and making it 6 inches. So it's going to be 6 inches of the paper that had the chevron pattern on either side, and then that teal paper in the middle. And I just thought that that would be the safest thing to do, and so I wouldn't mess up the paper, because I only had one of the chevron pattern paper, and I didn't want to make a mistake and then not have a paper to use for my background. So I needed to join these papers together, so I decided to bring in some washi tape, and I found this lime green washi tape that had "Hello Sunshine" written on it in white. And I'm just going to use that to join these two papers together. And I really love using washi tape. It adds another texture to your layout. It adds more color, and it's just another fun element to make the joining of those two papers a little bit more finished. Okay, so now that I have my papers joined together, I don't know why I did this, but I just started laying out things on the background, and it's kind of cool having a background that's 12 by 24. And it might have been fun to actually, you know, do the entire layout like this and then cut it off at the end. But I think once I added all the dimension, it might have been a little bit difficult to get this into my paper trimmer. So here I'm going to get my paper trimmer out, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it into two 12 by 12 papers. And I think that's going to work a little bit better. And So because I changed my background and I now have more teal or blue in the background, I decided it would be good if I could add another mat behind my picture and add a little bit more green. So I'm using this tone-on-tone green paper with the leaves and the We Are Memory Keepers layering guides, and I'm creating a 3/8 inch mat all the way around this picture. And I just love how that turned out. I think it really does make that picture pop, having that green as another layer behind the picture. Okay, so now that I have my background figured out and my photos matted, I'm trying to figure out the placement of my clusters. And so I decided to create a cluster next to the title at the top with that little owl, and then I'm going to create a cluster on the bottom right hand corner on the left side, and then on the right side I'm going to create a cluster at the top above the pictures. And that's going to create a triangle that joins these two layouts together, making it a double page spread. Okay, I decided to add some twine to my tag, and I thought it would be really cute to use a really natural twine that looks like rope. And I'm just going to thread it through the top of my tag, and I'm going to tie a knot in it later and glue it down so that it's not hanging off the top of the layout. Okay, so I wanted to try to see if I could find some more ephemera pieces to use in this layout. I wanted to add another cluster there at the bottom right hand corner, and so I'm just looking for some pieces that I could use there at the bottom. I just wanted something a little bit more than just the one cluster at the top. So although I created a triangle between the two sides of this double page spread, I can create another triangle between the cluster at the bottom right corner of the left side, the top above the picture on the right side, and that bottom cluster on the right side. So I think it's good to have multiple triangles on your layout because it does help to move your eyes around the layout and also to focus your attention in towards the pictures. There's a lot of dimension already on my layout with the wood veneer pieces, the Flair buttons, the twine, but I did decide I wanted to use some of this chipboard because it's just adorable. And I did find a few things to use there. And I just loved all of the little word quotes that were on this chipboard. I wanted to create some more things to use in my clusters, and so I'm going to fussy cut out some of these leaves, and I did just try to cut out the ones that are green. I didn't really want to add yellow or red to this layout, but I can see cutting up this entire paper to use as embellishments on future layouts. That paper is just gorgeous. Okay, so once I have fussy cut out the leaves, I'm just going to use the leaves to tuck behind some of the other elements in the clusters, just to give the clusters a little bit more fullness so that there aren't any bare spots. I like to add dimension to my title, and instead of adding some foam tape behind the title, I decided to cut out the offset layer a couple more times out of black cardstock, and I'm just going to glue these 3 layers together, and that's going to give just a little bit more dimension to my title and help it to stand out a little bit from the rest of the layout. I do like to make my title a focal point. I decided to look through this tag set to see if I could find something to use for the cluster there right next to the title. And while I was looking through this tag set, I found this little ephemera piece that I had been missing for probably about an hour. I probably spent a good 10 minutes looking for that until I gave up. I actually even got out my notebook punch, and I was thinking about making something to replace that piece. And then as I was going through these tags, I actually found it in there. I don't even know how it got in there, but I was really happy to find it. I also found this little green tag that I'm going to put there for the cluster at the bottom right. And I thought that went perfectly, because then I could put the word grateful right there above it. It was just the perfect size and the perfect color. And I want to use that magnifying glass so bad, so I tried to fit it in a couple of times, and I am going to end up using it. I just think that that is adorable. I just love that ephemera piece. It's very different from what you see in a lot of other collections, and I just thought it was really perfect for this layout, because the tag at the top of my layout says something about exploring, and I just think that that little magnifying glass is just perfect. And I just love that quote that says "out here exploring," because Miss Bella just loves to go exploring at the dog park. It's her favorite thing to do. She goes around and looks around all the trees and around the park benches, and she just loves just going and exploring and investigating everything that's at the park. So Bella and Lily Bell are very shy, and so they're a lot like me. And we're at the dog park, and they just kind of sit and watch all the other dogs, and you know, they don't really play with the other dogs too much. And Bella used to love to try to join in when the dogs would play chase, and she got in trouble so many times because she's so slow. The dogs would just kind of run over her and she would get rolled. And eventually she quit trying to join in on the chasing games. So she just kind of sits on the sideline and watches all the other dogs. Occasionally she will kind of be playful, and they're getting older. My dogs are going to be 12 this year, so they really don't play with toys too much anymore. But they love going to the dog park and just hanging out there, and they just love exploring, and just a nice change from being at home. So I do have a short video clip of my 2 dogs, Bella and Lilybell, at the dog park. I'm going to put that at the very end of the video, so if y'all want to see that, stick around to the end. Okay, so I am getting pretty close to getting all of my clusters figured out and all of the different pieces. I'm just adding in more of the ephemera pieces that are florals and leaves, and then also filling in with some of my fussy cut leaves. So I'm just going to get everything glued down and make sure that I have everything where I want it to be on this layout. And sometimes I really get frustrated with myself because I put everything in the cluster where I want it to be, and then I kind of have to move things in order to glue them down, because I didn't even have my pictures glued down. Nothing was glued down. And so I had to move my clusters, and then when I put them back, sometimes I can't remember exactly where I had it. Sometimes it turns out better, sometimes not so good. Sometimes I just, you know, try to figure out what I had done before, and I waste a lot of time moving things around, trying to get it the way I had it the first time around. So I probably should have taken a picture. That's what I usually do, to have something to look back on to remind myself where things should go. But a lot of times I forget to take the picture, and then I can't remember what I had done before that looked so good. Okay, so I'm just going to keep trying to figure out how I had all this laid out and try to put it back together. So I'm not going to make y'all watch me figure out how to put my clusters back together and glue everything down. Let's just go ahead and skip ahead to the next part. My layout is pretty close to done, and I'm just going to add some finishing touches. So on the chipboard were some little circles that were gold foiled, and I'm just going to scatter those around the layout. But I wanted to add a little bit more, so I got out some enamel dots. And I added enamel dots in 3 colors, a light blue, a medium blue, and a lime green. And I'm just going to put those in 3s next to each one of my clusters. So I haven't created a double page layout in a really long time, but I had so much fun creating this double page spread. And I just really loved using all of the embellishments that Ginger sent us for inspiration. Those little owls were super adorable. Thank you so much, MK, for sending those to Ginger. And that little arrow was also super cute. So thank you, Terry, for also sending things from your shop. And I just really had so much fun. I think this layout is one of my favorite layouts that I have created this year. And I think it's all because of all of the embellishments that Ginger sent us for inspiration. The embellishments that Ginger made added just the perfect touch to each one of my clusters. And those leaves from MK's shop were just awesome. And I want more of those. Those are just amazing as well. I'm going to have to go shopping sometime soon. I don't know, I'm kind of on a spending freeze. I'm really trying hard not to spend money because I'm in the process of building a house, and I want to put all the money that I have towards that. But I am definitely going to be going shopping soon. Maybe after I move, I don't know. I'm trying really hard not to look. Okay. So I thought the middle part of my layout was a little plain, and I decided I would just go ahead and do something I haven't done in a while, and that is to add some splatters. And I'm going to use the 𝗂𝗵𝗁𝗂𝗃. I have been hoarding this and saving it. And I decided that this was a layout that I wanted to use this on. I just really have a small amount left in this bottle. But I'm going to go crazy here and just put this gold color shine all over the layout, and I just love it so much. And it's really funny, I was being very careful not to get it in the wrong places, and to not you know, put my hands in it or to smear it. And when I was moving that paper, I smeared it on the bottom left corner over there, and also on the bottom right corner next to the word grateful. And I'm not going to stress out too much about it. I just decided that I would just add even more color shine, and I just splattered a little bit more in each one of those places, and it made it look all better. So I think that it's fun to use a splatter. Sometimes it's a little scary, but sometimes your layout just needs that little something extra, and this layout just needed a little bit more gold. There was gold in some of the ephemera pieces, and also on the little gold dots that I used, but I just wanted just a little bit more sparkle, and I just loved the way that that turned out. Okay, so here are some close-ups of my layout. I do hope you guys will go and check out Ginger's channel and watch her video and also enter her giveaway. And I also hope that you would go and visit all of the other YouTubers who are participating in this YouTube hop and watch their videos to see how they use these embellishments that Ginger sent them as inspiration to create a layout. Okay, so I hope y'all enjoyed seeing this scrapbook process video, and if you did, please give this video a like. And if you would like to see more videos and you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to have you join my channel. And if you want to see a video clip of my 2 dogs, stick around because that's coming up at the end of this video. Okay, so that's all I have. Y'all take care. Hope y'all have an awesome weekend, and I hope to see you next time. Bye now.